Well, hi and welcome to my shop. Thank you for coming and joining me here. You can see two radios in the camera shot there. That big one at the back and a transistor one. Of course, it's the transistor one I'm focusing on. That radio at the back I've been working on for a couple of weeks now, or so it seems, and I'm not making any progress. So I decided to try this little radio because I think I can get it all done all in one fell swoop. So let's take a look at it. So it's a national Panasonic. Panasonic was the brand name that a Japanese manufacturer used, and the manufacturer was Matsushita. Hope I'm pronouncing that close to right. Matsushita Electric Industries Company, I think it says there. Genuine top grain leather is what it says there. Made in Japan. A Japanese radio. I don't know what year this would be from offhand. Simple radio. This tone switch. Tuning dial works. Actually, it feels kind of nice. Has that kind of gooey feel to it. Nice. On, off, and volume. Very simple. This must be a light switch here. This must turn on the backlight or something. Up here, if this is all speaker, that's a fair size for a little radio. Tuned RF stage. They're selling this radio by telling people it has a tuned RF stage. Do you think that's really going to ring well with people? 9 transistors. More the merrier, I guess. Antenna and earphone. An external antenna, earphone. It must have an internal loop antenna, though I'd be stunned if it doesn't. External power, so it has a way to power it from a power. Oh, here's a whole story written in here. How to take out chassis. Take off volume control and tuning knobs. Open this paper cover. Remove 4 red screws on chassis. Now, there's a couple of videos on YouTube. I happen to peek at them, or websites with photos and stuff like that about this radio. And there's a big warning about taking it apart and dealing with the pointer, which is trapped up in here. If you're not careful, you can damage the pointer getting it out. So that's about all I know about this radio. Battery compartment here. Did I read everything? I didn't read everything. Panasonic model R-109, 9 transistors. Frequency range 540 to 1600. Battery is 4 AA size pen light for 6 volts. Matsushita Electric Industry Company Limited. Made in Japan. Well, my understanding is, Japan was basically it was defeated by the Americans, who then kind of reorganized Japan and needed some industry for Japan to focus on. And this is my understanding of the story. I don't know that it's true. The American decision was the consumer electronics industry would go to Japan, and the military electronics industry would stay in the United States. And that's why Japan suddenly produced 1 billion radios for North America. Well, maybe not 1 billion. That's my story. Don't know if it's really true. So I see a problem here already. There's a wire, power wire, broken away from the battery compartment. A little bit of corrosion in there. I'm more interested in that in this power plug-in here. It should be pretty easy to find a 6-volt wall wart and run this thing from a wall wart. Battery's great, right? Because it's not plugged in, you walk around with it. And, should I take that right off? I think I'll just leave it hanging out here. That's what I'll do. Okay, well, if we want to get the back off, we must open this paper cover. It must be just pull out. It must just be sitting in here. Shouldn't they say remove? Remove the paper cover? Why would they say open the paper cover? Maybe it's attached. I think actually part of this cardboard is riveted in place down here. So yeah, you got to open it. Now, what do we got? Well, it's nice and clean. Let me just get a little better here. How am I going to do this? I'm going to hold this guy open. And I don't want to fold this all the way back and rip it or something. I'm worried about the leather cover. I don't care so much about this. An elastic band around here. Okay, I got to set this up so we can look more closely at it here. Okay, well, before I try powering this guy up or anything, let's take a good close look at it and just see what's up. But certainly at a glance, it looks great. Switching cameras here. Okay, first thing, careful inspection. Take a look at the antenna. Sometimes antennas come loose in these radios and then they bump around and then the wires come off. But this doesn't look loose and no wires have come off. Looks good. That's how I'm holding the backup. I've just got a paint stick kind of shoved down behind the antenna. Not the best idea. You can crack these antennas really easily. But I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, here's the power input. No particular hint on is it plus or minus. Which way is it? No hint. Might as well go look at the power supply, or the battery case. Pictures of the battery. If you look inside, now most of these have been attacked by leaky capacitors. The plating has come off that. That's probably a steel because you need steel for the spring part of it, and then they've coated it with some other metal that's rusted away or it's been eaten away. You might be lucky if you stuck batteries in here. Maybe. Clean it up enough, it would probably be fine again. It's not damaged or anything. Well, this is, look how they've done this. Supposed to put that together, and that is supposed to make an electrical contact. I wouldn't bet on that working. Okay. Yeah, I think we really need to concentrate on using this supply here to make it work. Now, for some reason, there's an orange cloth down here. What's this for? This would be for pulling out the battery case. Probably. And it wants to stay where it's going to stay. We'll leave it there. The tuning capacitor. Let me turn the knob here. Oh, serial number. Is that important to them? The serial number of the radio itself. Probably that's what it is. Oh! 3 sections. 3 sections. Well, it does say tuned RF stage on the front, and there you are, 3 sections. So, in a sense, this is a very good radio. Well, we'll find out. The RIP 100. It's been soldered in a solder bath. It looks like. And we're not going to see much looking at it like this. Just looking for anything obvious, but no. The radio's probably been in safe storage for a long time. 0.03. And because of that, it's in fairly good shape. What do you think? Think this guy's going to work? So see how somebody's... maybe not. You know what? This may be hand soldered, because see all the little lumps and bumps of solder? That's from somebody dragging their soldering iron. And then they drag it over the entire trace, except they didn't do a good job down in this area. Or it was done in a solder bath and then somebody touched it up with a soldering iron. Now, it really looks like somebody's dragged a soldering iron over, or somebody's worked on this radio, but I don't think so. Tiny capacitor there. Nothing much to see. Volume control. chances are the volume control is noisy. There's the switch. How come so many terminals on a switch? It looks like a light we're looking at. That's maybe some of these wires are coming from the light. Maybe the light even works without the radio turned on. There's a little push button on the front to trigger it. I'm going to have to probably spray some cleaner, but it looks like it's going to be easy to do. There's holes right here. You can look right inside there. That little hole. Okay, so, but that's the switch part. I don't want to spray in the switch part. It's just up in the volume control pot that I want to probably have to clean up. Well, it all looks pretty good. It's probably full of germanium transistors. 9 of them. Let's give it a go. I don't see any reason to not try to power it up. So what I'll do is I'll use a power supply here. Four batteries, so 6 volts. 6 volts, so I dial up my power supply here to, let's put it on. Put on 5 volts. Keep it off for now. Okay, I think we can be pretty sure red is positive. Just go like that, and then we'll go here. I gotta turn this around so we can operate it. Big stick sticking out of it. Okay, radio. Switch is off, power is off. Switch is on, switch is off. Put power on it, we'll see if the switch does turn it off. Some of these radios, the switch breaks, either stuck on, stuck off. 5 volts to the radio. Nothing happened. Of course, the volume would be turned right down. No light showing up. Here we go. Well, that's a good sign. Dirty volume control. Hey, sounds like a radio. Huh. Nothing wrong with this radio. There it is, picking up a station. Tone control. Doesn't make much difference. Barely hear him though, but he's there. And I'm down in my shop here. This is a lousy place. How about the light? Oh my gosh, the light comes on. Not sure why it's buzzing. My power supply should be nicely filtered. Well, let's clean up the volume control here. This looks like this is all I'm going to have to do. Okay, so I'm going to arrange the radio now so gravity will cause the fluid to go down into the volume control. And where's my magic elixir? Uh-oh. It's gone off somewhere in the house here. I have to go hunt down the magic elixir. Now, for those of you who are going to have an emotional reaction to seeing a can of WD-40, please don't have that reaction. We should have the radio on. We should do this with it on. What happened to it there? Well, it's tuning. Okay. Just a little dab right in there. And what do we do? That's fixed already. That's all it took. Okay, I cut the power off here so I can turn that volume control more vigorously. Vigorous volume control turning. And that's it. It's fixed. I need to find an external power supply I can plug into this radio and it will make it work. so I am going to go and find one. Okay, so I have a couple of buckets of wall warts here, and look, that's where the tape's been all this time, in this bucket. The first wall wart I grabbed out of here is this one. It turns out to be a 6-volt wall wart, so the first one I got looks like it looks a little big. That's okay, I can put the right size on. And the polarity of this, I can of course change the wire turnout. So we'll check it to make sure it's 6 volts. Now, how did I get all these power supplies? You know what I do? I haven't been able to do it for last year because no yard sales. But when I'm at a yard sale, occasionally there are people who have collected a bunch of these, have them in a box. They don't mean anything to them. They're garbage as far as they're concerned. You can buy a box of these things for next to nothing. You put the box of these in your car knowing you've got a whole bunch of power supplies. You go to the next yard sale, and they're selling things that they can't find the power supply for it anymore. It's lost in their house. They don't care about it anyway. No power supply. You point that out to them. You've got no power supply here, but you know what? I'm willing to risk $2 on it. Sold. Then you bring it in your car, you dig up the power supply, there you go. And what do you got then? You got something worth $9. Yes, $9. Okay, so we're going to check this. Now that's a real yard sale trick, I'm telling you. Well, let me get the WD-40 out of sight here because I know it's disturbing people. I know it. We're going to check the voltage of this. See? Now the only thing I can check this way is the open circuit voltage, which could be quite a bit higher. These things have terrible regulation. They have no regulation in them, which means their voltage will go up and down based, on load. Variations in load. What do you tell us here? 10 volts. It said 6, but it says 10. So what do you think? Do you think if I stick it in there, A, does it matter that it's 10 and not 6? Probably doesn't matter that much. 2, will it drop to 6 volts because of a little bit of load? And C, does this plug even fit? Let's find out. Pull it out because I don't dare plug this in. Yes, it will. It will. It's actually absolutely correct for it. Okay, what about the polarity? Now, we'll figure out the polarity of this. Let's figure out the polarity. Disconnect the power supply. So, chances are really good that the 2 wires from the battery compartment are just connected to the same plug here. So it'll be really easy to figure out what's up. I'm going to clip. Oh, that was bad. That was my my best camera hitting the ground hard. Really hard. Still an image on it. Okay. So I'm going to read the resistance. We're going to look for continuity into this plug. Okay, let's check the meter first. Okay, is it the center post? It goes to 0. Is it the negative thing? Is 0 on both? That's the center. Let's get a little certainty here. We're looking for a 0, so I'll put this on the lowest scale. All over the place. Getting down to 0 there. There's a 0. Now, if I get onto the again, the negative or the other side. This thing. It could be this is a switch. A lot of these things, as you plug it in, you're actually operating a switch. So let's take a look. I'll get my other camera off the floor here. It survived. that a switch? Doesn't really look like it, does it? I don't know what I'm thinking. Doesn't look like it. Hard to see. See way down the bottom there, that part that's going to move when you shove the plug in. It could be engaging a switchy thing down there. I think I can move it with something here. Let me get something. Oh, I'm dropping everything on the floor today. Okay. Now, can we move it a bit? Let me just get things set up here. Can't really see down there. Come over here where the light is better. Probably better ways of doing this. See, there is some kind of cross piece down there. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it. It could be opening a switch. So how do we deal with that? We plug a plug in here and then look for continuity again. Try to open that switch and look for continuity. It's all kind of loosey-goosey at that point. See if I can find a plug here that I can just plug in quickly. That's not a good one. There we are. There it goes. Look, the wires are bared already. Okay, now we got to figure out this plug. I already looked, by the way, to see if it indicated somewhere plus in the middle. Or, you know, usually these devices, they have a little picture. They show you what's positive, what's negative. Not here, though. Okay, so we'll take the marked, the wire with the white marking on it. You can't see much with the light there. Can't see much even with the light away. There we go. Okay, so the white wire is connected to the center. White wire connected to the center. Put it in here. Okay, we'll clip onto the white wire. And we'll see. How come it's showing 0? I didn't hook anything up yet. This meter is in trouble. Okay, test the meter. Now you know why I always test the meter before I use it. Seems open there. We'll test the black wire, or the blue one actually. There we are. So we know this is connected to the center pin. So we know positive is on the outside. Positive is on the outside. Positive is, so negative is this white wire. Negative is this white wire. Negative is this white wire. Even though I'm chanting, I'm still bound to make a mistake here. It's just the way I am. Okay. Now we're going to test the radio, but I can't get it to control, so I'll just flip it around like this. Off. Power on. 5 volts. Check. Here we go. So what I'm checking is the power supply itself. Does it hum? No. This guy is going to draw very little current. Is the 10 volts blowing it up? Apparently not. It's not 10 volts. It's coming from my power supply. Very good. Now we know, again, positive on the outside. Positive on the outside. I can't remember the supply, but I should check it again anyway. positive on the outside. So I would get a positive reading this way. Positive on the outside. Should give me a positive reading. A big negative reading. So this guy's polarity is backwards from what we want. My option is look for another supply. I look for another supply with a lower number and the correct polarity. I keep this one around because this will probably do the trick, even though it's 10. Probably comes down a wee bit. Okay, so we do have to go through a pile of these guys here. Okay, so I'm going to do this. You don't need to watch me do this. And we'll find something more suitable. Something a little more worth knowing about these power supplies is there's two types. And you can tell them apart fairly quickly in two ways. One is heavy for their size and the other is light for their size. Another one is this puts out a small amount of current, 300 milliamps. This one put out an amp. That's a lot more. It's lighter and it puts out more. This is a switching power supply. And what you need to know is that these things make a lot of radio noise. Wouldn't dare try to power a radio like that with this, or have this anywhere near this radio. And of course, these are all over our houses these days. So you need to look for one like this. One that you can tell there's a transformer inside it. You can tell from the weight. And what did I do with the one we were going to use? Here it is over here. I have not found an alternative. So we're going to go with the 10 volter. I'll do a little test on it. See what kind of, yeah, let's try this. You can kind of get a grip on how much power the radio is going to pull. Switch it back on here. Yeah, and then read it on the power supply meter up here. Well, yeah. Could be 5 milliamps. Could be 5 milliamps. And if we raise the voltage up towards 10, get a lot more volume. But I'm not sure we want to run this at 10 volts. So you can probably run it for a while at 10 volts without any problem. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it with the power supply, and I'm going to measure the voltage at the radio while I'm doing that. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good challenge. How are you going to do that? Take off this supply. Now I got to reverse the polarity of this. Should I bother doing that before doing a study? No. So I'm going to take a few minutes here to fiddle up a arrangement. Okay, before we power the radio up itself, the switch is off on the radio. Plug in the power supply here. Check the voltage at the radio. Well, the radio's not. We want to be able to read the voltage when the radio comes on. Almost certainly going to stay the same. Okay, a couple more clip things here. I've reversed the polarity of the power supply just by the way I connected these wires temporarily. So later I can reverse the plug on it. Almost 11 volts. The fact that it says negative doesn't matter on the meter. Is that really true? Let's just make sure. Yes, I actually have the meter hooked up in reverse, so negative is what we want there. 10 volts. Wow, that's a lot. 10 when I want 6. It wants 6 because it takes 4 batteries. That doesn't make sense, does it, what I just said? Here we go. She's down to 7.5 volts. How come I didn't hear the radio? Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. I gotta go back. I gotta start over here. Okay, let's do this. No, this is the. Yeah, you know, I made a mistake. Huh. How can I make a mistake here? I broke out in sweat. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can to not get this backwards, but I know myself. I almost always get these things backwards, unfortunately. So let's start again. We got to start again. Whole thing. Son of a gun. We got to start with proving this. Proving the battery connection. We'll do the negative one. Test the meter, yep. White is the negative. That's what I thought before. Now what's going on over here? Things are flying everywhere. Okay, from the wall wart power supply, which I think I got backwards in the end. This, I think, is actually negative, and I think I thought it was positive. What do we get? 10 volts positive reading, meaning the wires are connected right, meter's connected right, positive in the center, right. I know exactly how I got that wrong. Okay, so positive in the center, positive goes here, negative, oh my gosh, grabbing the wrong end of the clip here. We already know, well we knew before, here we go. Okay, hear the hum? Power supply's no good. Power supply is no good. Can we de-hum it ourselves here with the capacitor? I happen to have one. I just took it off a radio that was not needed. Tiny little leads on it. Oh, let's give it a try. Just clipping this in. This is a big capacitor. This is 50 microfarads. This is the negative lead. Cleverly, I used the black wire. Not so cleverly. Put the positive one here. Oh, let's get it right. Yeah, really, if there's any way to get it wrong, I find it. I always find it. Okay, so we want to put this across the, we'll put it here. Yeah, and there's no reason for me to do that. There we go. Still humming. As if it made no difference. What was that? Oh, these wires are shorting out here. Bad clip lead, bad clip lead. I just would have thought that would knock the hum right out, but it doesn't. That's really surprising to me. Have I got a gigantic capacitor? Take try. Oh, I do. How about this big whopper here? 1,000 microfarads. That's much, much, much bigger. Black. 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 It's kind of just for an experimental. Well, that knocked most of it out. I'll make a little filter maybe with a resistor. And this one this big. Okay, point is though, this can be made to work. That's all I need to do, I think, at this point. That can be made to work. Okay, now it's much more ideal to run the radio with batteries. Since we know already the radio is essentially working, and it has a hum with the power supply, if I can get it to work with batteries. Fantastic. And what's, I was concerned about this connection here, but when you load this with batteries, it's going to push this clip closed from the spring pressure, and then this switch is going to be sprung against. We got to give it a try. And I just bought batteries yesterday. Where are they? Oh, I know where they're in another part of the house. I had to go get 4 batteries. Okay, we're going to give it a shot at soldering back the negative lead here. Where's some solder? Uh-oh. What has happened to it? Here it is. Now the wire's just, looks like it could use just a little bit of cleaning here. Looking to see if there's a way I can fish the wire in and get it hooked on something to help with the soldering, but I don't think there's anything in there. You know what, it can come through there. I wonder if it originally did. That's actually a good arrangement. Solder on that. Hot on the fingers. Did we get it? We Sure did. Went much better than I would have expected. Okay. Now we're going to put in these two batteries. And we close this. Oh boy, I don't know. I do know. And then it's stopped. So we gotta do something about this contact here. Looks like it's a little rusty. Could bend it to cause it to make more contact too. Let's just try cleaning it first. Bend it a little bit. Bend it so an edge goes down on it, I think, as opposed to a flat surface. This might be tricky to bend. It can be going on and off because of other contact problems too. It gets so loud. I'm rotating it. What's going on over here? Pretty weird. Anyway, here we are. Fantastic. I think the owner will be very happy with this situation. And now I got to take the battery pack out. Let's keep the radio running while we're doing this here. Okay, so I'm bumping the volume control and stuff like that, in case you're wondering why it's getting louder and quieter. What happened there? My finger close to a wire. No? Oh. Volume control. That's all that was. Okay, I'm going to snap it closed. We're just going to flip these over. Now it's all about making it look nice and pretty. It's not so pretty just yet. Okay, let me clean it up. So I have a special radio testing room. I seldom show on camera, and you can see the radio there, and because that's just outside my shop. I'm going to go turn that radio on outside my shop in the special radio testing room. Pharmacies across the province are working to use up the remaining 45,000 this COVID-19 vaccine before the expiry date, which is Monday, and this comes as the country's top vaccine advisor said. And I've driven past that bar, you know, however many times you're on King Street. Oh. If there's a big game in this playoff, you know, in bars, hockey was open, they get TV on the phone, and maybe if I get a season off, the Leafs are playing, maybe I'll take a night. And a big game, I'm going down to the wall. Yeah, my shop is the worst place on earth for radios. But there we are. A simple little repair there, nothing too serious. I'm going to abandon the whole power supply thing. The batteries are working. That's just great. Brand new batteries. Wonderful. So thanks a lot for watching, and there's another. No, this radio is going to live on for sure. Thanks. See ya.